Jose. And another boy, Lloyd. Sup? Suppity sup, guys. Took a couple of days off. Get the bike going good again. Replaced the spoke on the back wheel. Also put on new rotors. That way, no more squeaking of the front brakes. It's amazing what can actually make you want to take a break from riding, you know, just like if I feel like my bike's not working the way I want it to, I just feel like riding so much less. I mean, it's kind of obvious. But yeah. Bad stuff going on in my area recently, like shootings, arsons, always police presence. Recently, my neighbor's son, like I talked about him one time months and months ago. A few months ago, I had found out that the dude had stabbed his mom, my neighbor's son. Pretty brutal, like, can you imagine stabbing your own parent? But it's like 4 or 5 months later, and the guy that stabbed his mom came back. He smashed out like so many windows of the house. I think he smashed out like 4 or 5 windows in their house. Which that's something terrible, pretty much. Kind of worrisome. Like, I see my neighbor's son as like a big failing of the legal system and like just the downhill nature of like what happens when you cut all these resources to like insane institutions, like places where you put people with mental illness or drug problems. So I feel like that guy has both of those problems, a mental illness problem and like a really big drug problem. And for me, it's crazy because, like, it's like I used to hang out on my porch together with that kid, you know? So it's funny. My parents always warned me to not, like, be careful of hanging out with him too. And it's, when you're a kid, you just don't know, you know? You can't see the signs, you just want to be friends with people. Go down Dundas tonight. Good RNG. Don't have to mess with this light for once in my life. Whew. Yeah, but that's been something that's been kicking in my mind lately, just my neighbor and like how she has to go through that with her son. It's crazy, man. Something else kicking around in my mind that I saw on YouTube. YouTuber with probably 10 times, more than 10 times my fame. He's got 10K subs. His name's Federico. He seems like a really nice guy. Like, I watched his content a couple times. I feel like he has like his own opinion on bicycling and road biking, and you know, something I can appreciate personally, because a lot of people just have a carbon copy perspective, you know. What I enjoyed about him is he's willing to entertain other people's perspectives, even the people who are bullheaded about things, and even I'm very bullheaded about some things and certain thought patterns on bikes. So I appreciate a guy like that can say, you know what, I see where you're coming from, you know? Like, you don't have to agree with me, but just to know that someone's coming from a perspective, you know? People who are like willing to just take other people's thoughts at their face value, you know. I appreciate people like that. I try to look for it in others. But him, I feel terrible for him. He had 2 really nice road bikes burglarized from him recently. And it just leads me back to thoughts that I had around this time of year last year, when the bike I'm riding right now was stolen from me. You know, it puts such a terrible feeling in your stomach. Like, it drastically alters the way you think about things and see the world in such a negative light when it happens to you. So all I can do is, I don't know what this car's doing, it's making me nervous. Like, I know he said he was turning, but he was veering. He probably wanted a better angle for his turn, I get that, but when you're veering into me and, you know, better to be safe than, like, misunderstood. Yeah, I feel terrible for him though. Like, I empathize and sympathize. It's so crappy. I tried to leave a comment on his video saying I'm sorry this happened to you and stuff, but I'm like in YouTube jail on some people's videos, and it's just so weird. Like, I never said or did anything terrible on YouTube to anyone, but sometimes the system just like automatically flags comments, and you know, I didn't say anything that I thought was bad, you know? It's always worrying for me too when people post on my videos, because I've been told a couple times that, hey, I posted a comment on your video and my comment didn't post. Are you like modding comments? And it's like, no, like I'll almost never do that. There would only be like a couple scenarios where I'd actually mod a comment. Like, you'd basically have to be rude to another person completely unprovoked for me to mod your comment. And the way YouTube looks now, it's like you'd have to be very passive aggressive for your rudeness to even be allowed to pass, you know? The system just takes things down. It's insane to me. Like, it upsets me that people who maybe have a view on something that doesn't align with like YouTube's agenda, you know, that they could make a comment completely unrelated to that and just their comment's gone, you know. I really, certain things, man, you know, just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. But it's like, man, I literally spent time to get in contact with that person and like let them know, hey, you're not alone in your thoughts about stuff like this, and or whatever it is, you know, and it just counts for nothing because it never reaches them. And it already doesn't count for much as it is, but for some people, that interaction is a lot of all it is for them. That's all they get out of it. So when you're taking away that feedback, you can really like hurt creators that are just starting out, because like I remember when I was starting out, like no one's watching my video, I open my stuff up, I get someone like insulting me, or I get like no comment at all and I just get a thumbs down, and it's like, why'd you thumbs down me? Like, now I don't care that much about stuff like that, because you know, I have a few viewers that I like, and that's enough for me. You know what I like? It doesn't matter if I can put something out that can take your mind off of things for even 5 minutes a day. That's worth something to me, you know? Man. So unfortunate. You'd love to go faster, but the way some people drive just sows just enough doubt in you. Slow down. Now, I've been trying to take it easy on my hand. I still have numbness in like 30% of my left hand. It's very weird. It's like my hand is asleep all day, no matter what I do to it. I've been trying to do physical activity on it and massage and use a massage gun on it. Everything I can think of. And the feeling's just not coming back, so I might have to go to a doctor about it. It's been like this for like a few weeks to a month now. It's terrible. Like, it's not painful. It's amazing how much pleasure you derive from touching things with your hands. And you don't realize it, and then your hand feeling is gone. And it's like, man, touching feels so weird. You know, like touching this feels like nothing. Crossing anyway, don't need to pass. Whew. Yeah, you just don't realize like how much of a sense touch is until you lose the sense. You know, just a little bit. Like, I feel like such a world of difference between my right hand and my left hand. Initially, my hand felt like it was getting a little bit better, and I think it did. But now I'm not really seeing any increase in condition, so I'm just trying to be patient and keep at it with my own rehab. I read online somebody say they got like injections in their arms, and that like solved their problem 90% of the way. That may be a path I'm gonna have to go down eventually, because I don't want to get surgery that cuts through the blood vessels, veins, the skin, you know, tendon. It's just so, seems counterintuitive to me personally. When the bike lane is so protected that you don't even feel like you can get into the bike lane sometimes. Oof. Jesus, man. Fucking e-bike off the sidewalk. Another person was blocking him, so I couldn't see that he was there either until, like, already going far wide for him too, because I saw him after initially. I'll share the blame on that one. I won't just say it's his fault. I'll take my half on that. Nice weather out. Try and let this guy pass before the road cuts off. Oh, brakes feel good. No noise. Man, what a drag that is. Toronto subreddit, the whole bike lane's blocked. Cyclists unite. Didn't realize I was in Al-Kharid. Everywhere I am, it's Al-Kharid. The dual arena, homies. The lights are really uncooperative tonight. Stamina's still no good. Gonna have to earn that back the hard way. Fucking idiots, man. That guy's on full battery. This guy not so much. Get this light. all these people with one-handed cell phones. Lots of rude boys out tonight on their e-bikes. Whew. That feels good and awful simultaneously. Being fat sucks, guys. Only one thing to do about it. Work hard till it's gone. And with discipline. let me just dominate the whole path with my fucking bus of a bike and 3 canine. At least the dogs seem well behaved and happy. It's a good dog owner right there. Oh. Oh, well, it's kind of late in the video, but something else to talk about. Probably talk about it next video too, but for those of you who are somehow still here, the new camera series and the camera that I own, DJI Osmo Action, I own an Action 4. The Action 5 dropped, and I was excited for a while before the specs were revealed. But with the specs that they revealed, I feel like I might not be interested in buying it. Like, I just don't see a point in upgrading for me personally. Maybe if you're like a couple generations behind, like if you have the Osmo Action 3, it might be worth it for you to upgrade. But if you have a 4, I just don't feel like it's worth it. It's not worth the money. The price is kind of reasonable though. Well, like, depends on what you think reasonable price is for a camera in your head. You know, it launched at the same price as my Action 4 was. And it has some better features and some newer features. A lot of people were complaining about the length of the lens not going up, and I kind of agree. So it would have led to some better performance. They just made the lens a little bit bigger. I don't know if I have what it takes to make this light. Gears probably. Oh God, feel awful, guys. Good and awful. That's it. That's all. And remember, the same ride's never the same ride.